Happy Throwback Thursday. Got a throwback story for you. I can't believe I never told y'all this before, but it went down like this. So back in the 1900s, like 1995, Duck Down was just getting their run. Not Duck Down, the label Duck Down, the management company. Black Moon and Smith and Wesson were already on the road and stuff, and they were just starting to bring Heltah Skeltah on the road. Like, they would only bring me and Ruck separately at one point. It was like, it's blue collar hip hop, econo rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't in the budget to bring us both. So with that in mind, some of the flights we was taking was going out of Newark Airport. If you from the tri-state area, if you from New York, you know that flights out of Newark Airport are cheaper than flights out of JFK and Kennedy and all that. I didn't know that then. All I knew was the process was, at this point, we would meet up at Port Authority. All of us would descend from whatever areas of Brooklyn. We stayed at the night before. We would descend upon Port Authority at this certain meeting area. It was the same area. And then when we get on the bus, and we would go to Newark Airport, and we would fly out. Well, this day, and it was November 4th. It was my birthday. In like 94, 95. Not sure which year. But me, Sean Price, my partner Ruck, one and the same for all of you who don't know. Some of y'all really don't know. Anyway, me, Sean Price, General Steele of Smith & Wesson, Evil D, and Buckshot's brother Thor. Rest in peace. We waiting for Drew High, Buckshot, and Tech. Maybe Eddie Machete was supposed. So we sitting, I'm sitting on the floor in the Port Authority. This ain't no dirty area. This is, one of the more manicured sections of the Port Authority. We sitting down chilling, eating snacks or whatever. And police walk up on us and start bothering us. You get extra offended when you on your way to do the right thing and the police harass you. I could understand if we were doing the wrong thing. I could even understand if we were doing the nothing. Not saying it's right, if we was doing something neutral, not bad or good, just chilling. But no, we going to do the good thing. And they, you know what I'm saying, and they on they bullstein, right? Usually Ruck is the smart aleck out of the two of us. I'm the grouch. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times. Those are our standard operating default systems, right? And he's notoriously he's a comedian. But these police officers is talking to us disrespectfully, and Ruck is not disrespecting these niggas back. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why he was, I'm immature. I can't understand. I'm not yet seeing why he's giving them this grace. I feel like these bacon bits they don't deserve the grace of the great Mr. Sean P. You understand what I'm saying? Like, at this point in time, he was a mess. And because he was hilarious, he could disrespect you and it sound like a joke. There have been times he disrespected police and the police were able to laugh at it too. You know what I'm saying? So, his disrespect could possibly sound like a joke. My disrespect sound like disrespect. So, I'm waiting for something to cut their ass. And he don't. He giving, he's showing these niggas all this grace. He's cooperating. And something in me couldn't take it. I'm like, nah, B. Like, I filled in. Excuse me, I don't want to go crazy with the pause button, but I picked up where he should have left off, or I picked up the slack. I started disrespecting these niggas. I started calling them all kind of every connotation of bacon, bacon bits, bacon strips, you know what I'm saying, spam, spice ham. I done called these niggas all kind of everything, right? Still is trying to keep the peace. He like, right, let's go, let's just, let's just go there. Like, leaving that bottle there, that's littering. I'm like, man, still picks up the bottle, you know what I'm saying? My homeboys is cooperating with the authorities. And, I don't know. I ain't like it. I started tripping. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, as I said, I was already tripping. I'm already talking to them crazy. At this point, Evil D and Thor had wandered off. They slid off to go get something to eat. You know what I mean? While we waited. So they missing all of this right now. Thor is there for security purposes. Son was a strong nigga, right? He was short, but he was a strong, he was a nigga named Thor, right? Evil D, I hate to break it to you, for all of the people who love negativity and they associate with being on demon time. Evil D is not evil. He's a very nice guy. He's a swell guy, I promise you. Like, he's one of the coolest dudes you could ever meet. Although every once in a while I have had a complaint from one of my friends from outside of boot camp, be like, yo, the nigga Evil D was on some bullshit. I was trying to, you know what I'm saying, nigga curved me with but I promise you, he must have been under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. You know what I mean? He in the middle of DJing, you trying to talk to him, he's going, you understand what I'm saying? Swell guy. One of the nicest men I know, right? And I imagine they're seeing this commotion building because at some point, I'm talking all of the shit that I'm talking to the police. Police, they ignore the shit I'm talking to them, and they grab Ruck and they throw Ruck on the wall. Now, they got these glass walls in Port Authority at this period of time, right? You know what I'm saying? They sling my boy up on the wall. I'm spazzing. Now I'm spazzing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm loud with it. I'm demonstrative. It's a good word. You know what I'm saying? Monster, right? Cursing these niggas out, this, that, and the third. And they like, they trying to tell me to chill, but I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really trying to hear them. So, of course, I'm about to get locked up. Back in the days, DJs used to have, I don't know if they still carry these big ass crates. They not crates, but they cases. They used to put their records in these black and silver cases. When E and Thor went to to get their bagels or whatever, I'm holding some cases. Police are trying to get these cases from me. Now, they got Ruck in handcuffs already. I'm tight. I don't like the way they slap my man up against the wall like that and all that. So like I said, I'm tripping right now, and they've decided that they want to lock me up, but they not saying that. They're not saying get on the wall. They trying to get Evil D's cases out of my hands, and I won't, and I'm not trying to give it to them. So you just see me standing there, scarecrow, with these big ass silver and black boxes at the end of, and they wrestling with me, this, that, and the third. Lady cop come over there, thinks she can do what all of the male cops couldn't do. She pushing them off. She tried to grab my. It didn't work, right? Police report said I broke her finger. I didn't. Anyway, Thor and Evil D get back, and Evil D, they rush to the scene. Evil D is like, yo, what happened? That's what happened, asshole. Throw my boy Evil D up against the glass wall. I'm pretty sure, now I don't know this for 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure Evil D has never been locked up before. You know what I'm saying? He don't seem like it. If you throw my son up against the wall, lock all three of us up. I guess I eventually let go of the cases. They take me, Ruck, and Evil D to Port Authority precinct. We sitting up in there, and we about to go through the system. Now, the system situation was very interesting because, like I said, my poor friend Evil D is not. He ain't never been through this shit. Me and Ruck at this time have been through the system dozens of times, probably. I can remember a point in this whole ordeal, in the beginning of this ordeal, where they had Evil D handcuffed to like a bench or like a rail or like a pipe or something like that, and my boy was not handling this well. This is regular to us. We know these we know these charges ain't serious. We know we getting out. You know what I'm saying? But Evil D, I don't know that he knows that. You understand what I'm saying? So he's asking all of the questions that a first time, a first time will be asking. They like, yo, what we, you know what I'm saying? It was rough for them. You know what I'm saying? They move you like, if you don't know, they move you through from pen to pen like you on a goddamn assembly line. You go from this cell with 30 niggas in it to this other cell with like 6 niggas in it, then to this other cell with another 20 niggas into another, you know what I'm saying? They just move you around to all of these cells until you finally get to a point where you go in this cell and you're about to see the judge. You know what I mean? I just want to add out the fact that my title is a little bit misleading because now that I tell this story out loud, it's not like it ain't really. It's not so much Heltah Skeltah. Me and Ruck got Evil D locked up. It's more like I got both of them locked up. This kind of seems like what in all actuality is what happened. But there were points where where Ruck got separated from me and E. There were points where I got separated from Ruck and E, I believe. There were no points where it was just me and Ruck together, though, right? By the time we met up in that last pen, me and E and Ruck were all together again. And the last pen is where you go in a little booth to see your lawyer. You meet your legal aid or whatever, this, that, and the third. I went inside the booth. I talked to my legal aid nigga. And he was, he wasn't saying nothing too spectacular, but he wasn't saying nothing too crazy either. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, okay, all right, this is your story. Well, all right, well, you got all this, blah, 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 blah. All of those minute goofball charges that you see in cases like this. You see the resisting arrest, the assault on the police officer, destruction of, obstruction of justice, disorderly, all of the goofballs. But it ain't no real charge, no real threat, no drugs, no gun, no robbery, no none of that. So in my mind, I think that a judge is supposed to see through that. You know what I mean? Because I've already been through this. I'm like, judges ain't that stupid. You know what I'm saying? If they don't see no real, you know what I'm saying? They not going to be that. They know what time it is. We going to get ROR. But my lawyer is not really talking like you'll be out of here and the blah, blah, blah. He's talking like he a little bit nervous. I go out there. I'm like, whatever. I go out there, back into the cell. Ruck goes in, comes out the booth from seeing his lawyer. And this nigga is pissed off. I'm like, yo, what's the matter, B? He's like, yo, this fucking lawyer don't even believe me. I'm like, what? He's like, the nigga don't believe me. He think I'm lying. I'm like, you told him what you call it, and you wasn't the end, and I was, and he don't believe nothing. He don't believe none of that. I'm like, what? And from this moment on, for the next couple of hours, I understood why throughout all of the years of dirt that me and Ruck did together, we never been locked up together. Because it wouldn't have been good for nobody. And I recognized it in that moment. Just because in this moment, he came out that pen and he was on Bullstein. You know what I'm saying? And I necessarily wasn't, but we in there and we in this together. So he on Bullstein, I'm on Bullstein. It just started with me. I'm on that, right? So now all of a sudden we get all extra disrespectful to all of the other niggas in the pens. Now niggas gotta clear the bench off. They can't sit there. Now you gotta get up so my man Evil D could lay down. Y'all get, it's that kind of energy. There was only one cool nigga in there. It was a nigga from Harlem or whatever. And he was a G. You know what I'm saying? I think he pulled my coat, or he pulled Ruck coat, like, yo, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I understand it's blah 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 blah, but be easy, blah blah blah. And then niggas told a story about, he was telling a Harlem story, like a Harlem weed story or something. Niggas be in the pens telling their stories, and his story led him to the body bag spot in Harlem, right? That was a weed spot, not nothing bad, right? Well, I guess it was bad then, but anyway, when weed was more illegal, but Ruck was already familiar with the body bag spot. He just didn't know where it was. He heard about it. It was legendary. So as the dude is telling his story, so on and so forth, he like, yeah. So I'm coming out of body bag. Ruck like, hold up. body bag, where that's at? He's like 126 and blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right. So that was that. So we chilling now. You know, somebody was able to, you know, talk a little bit, you know, mellow the situation out a little bit. Long story short, you know, we go out to see the judge. As we sitting in the pen, you know, the little fucking athlete's box like they have you, the penalty box right before you go before the judge. Drew walks in. Drew Ha, salute to Drew Ha. Drew Ha walks in the courtroom and he got this envelope right there. He holds the envelope up. He like, and walks in. He look happy. He hands the envelope to Ruck's lawyer. And Ruck's lawyer, the same nigga who didn't believe him, turned into Perry Mason. This nigga turned into, I mean, he was performing in the courtroom. My clients, because in the envelope was proof of our story. The envelope was our plane tickets and our bus tickets. You understand what I'm saying? So once he saw that, I guess everything Ruck told him started computing. We ain't even need my lawyer, Evil D lawyer. Them niggas could have sat their asses down, went home, took the night off. This nigga was on TV. He went on TV lawyer mode. Matlock. My client should not have been disrespected. Went in. We walked up out of there. We won. Let us out. ROR. You know what I'm saying? Dismissed. Basically, I don't know if they dismissed everything that night, but I know when we got back to the fucking hood, the first thing, before we got to the hood, if I'm not mistaken, me and Ruck got out of jail, did not go, from the courtroom, we did not go back, Manhattan Court, we did not go back to Brownsville. We went to the body bag spot in Harlem and tested that shit out. Brought it back to Brooklyn, and yeah. And it was that deal. But once again, Evil D, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for telling this story if you didn't want me to tell this story. But I'm more sorry for getting you arrested. And you too, P. Made it to the end of this video. Let me get 4 microphones, rock on, rock going. Do all of the things that make a page pop. Welcome to the nation. I am your host, your president, your tour guide, Mr. Monster Man Rocco. I'm the landlord, the owner, tenant, the janitor. I mops the damn floor. Let's go. I'm one of the realest you ever gonna see. I ain't come here to lie to you.